Hello, it's the Randy Duck and we're back again for another video. This time it's in the Tier 8 American Premium Heavy Tank, the T54E2, which is the unskinned slaughterhouse. This is tank, it's on an earn op and you can earn it now. It's quite an easy one to earn, so yeah, and it's definitely worth getting. It's actually an incredibly good tank. I'll talk a bit more about the tank sort of as the video goes on, but firstly I just wanted to sort of explain about this video. We've got two replays for you today, two very different replays. The first one, we're bottom tier, there's one artillery, but there is no light tanks, which is quite an important thing to know. Now what we need to do here is we do need to take the middle of the map, these ridge lines, because we've got to keep the pressure up. If no one takes this position, you're not going to be spotting anyone, and ultimately you're probably going to end up losing the game, because you do need to take that ridge line. I know it's hard, you're scared that you might get shot by the artillery, but sometimes you just got to play the game, you know, and just do your best to try and avoid getting shot. It's not guaranteed, you know. I'm expecting to get hit at some point by the artillery, but it doesn't mean you can't just give up this position. Really I need a bit more support from my team here to spread along the ridge, but as you can see my whole team, all the tier 10s, are either sitting on the 1-2 or going to the hill. Now it's okay to have a few people sitting down the 1-2, you know, your snipers etc, but you don't want all your heavy tanks sitting there, especially the ones which are good hold down, because you will end up losing the game. It is unfortunately coming into the meta like that, but hey ho, you know, what can you do? But it does give me an opportunity to get potentially get a lot of assistance damage, because there's no one else spotting right now. You see there, I got to my position early on, I spotted a few targets, and then I immediately started to move to try and lose my spot. That's because I knew I was the first person spotted, and I knew there was a good chance artillery was aiming on me. That's why I moved, lost my spot, so he couldn't shoot me, and it paid off, didn't I? Because I ended up getting sort of, what, 1400 assistance. I'm now up to just over 2k, or just under 2k assistance. I've just seen a key bit of information. I've seen where the artillery is shot from, as well as knowing that the artillery has just shot. Very important things to always be trying to remember as you're going on. Because now I know where the artillery's arc is, as well as the fact that I know he's on a reload, so I've got a bit more time to take these shots, aim in, pick up the first bit of damage of the game for myself, put myself up just under 3k combined. I'm now thinking the artillery probably has just you know, almost reloaded, so I sort of moved for a little bit, lost my spot before I poke up again. I'm trying to where I can to keep this rock to my left sort of partly in front of me, just so it limits the arc the artillery has, knowing where he is. I'm definitely not immune to being shot by a long way, but it just helps a little bit. Anything to make his shot a little bit harder, and hoping that he's got a few easier shots down the 1-2 where everything's been lit up. But you can see how important it was for me to take this position, because by taking this I'm lighting the stuff, pushing us down the 1-2. If I don't do this, RTDs, which are currently backed in all in one position at A3, they're all going to die, because they're going to get lit up, and you're going to have people on the opposite side of the ridge where I am now. They're going to light them up, and it's just going to be easy damage. So it's important for me to spot these things up like I'm doing, as well as the fact that I've now picked up 5,000 damage, 5,000 assistance, sorry, I should say. Which, you know, so already I've had a good game. Whatever happens now, in the terms of going for your third mark, this has been a very decent game. Whatever happens now. Now this tank, it comes with two guns. You can have the single shot gun, which is 360 alpha, and a little bit, you know, better accuracy, but I've never noticed a difference myself. Or, you know, that gun is basically irrelevant, don't use it. You've got it's an okay gun, but it's not the tank. The tank you want to use is what I'm using now. It's a 3-shot autoloader, 360 alpha each shell. The accuracy's not brilliant, can be a little bit trolly, but since 6.0 there's nothing which isn't that accurate nowadays. There's just no tank, and you know, all tanks are fairly accurate since 6.0, as we all know. But yeah, so that's pretty much the tank. You notice the turret arm of the tank is actually fairly decent. You know, when you're using your gun depression, you can get some decent angles on it, and even the cupola, when angled, is not too bad. I'm not saying you're going to rely on a bounce in every shot, but it is a fairly decent armoured tank when you come to when you're top tier, etc. You see, I already blocked a few of the tier 10s off of my turret because I was using it with sort of the gun depression. We get a shot into this pattern there. We don't stay around to get the second shot in because I really don't want to die here, because I'm having a good, I've already got 6,500 assistance. I'd like to get a bit more, and I don't want to say expose too much just for those extra shots when I'm getting the assistance anyway. I might as well just pull back down, get the assistance, and just when there's this artillery in the game, it's not worth me hanging around too much, especially on bottom tier as well. So you see I'm lit. I'm now going to try and move and just, I feel like I'm tempting fate because I've been here too long already. So I'm going to try and lose my spot, and then just adjust my position. My plan was to adjust my position just slightly on this other side of the ridge, hoping if the artillery was aimed in on me, he wouldn't, now not be focused. Unfortunately for me, I got a lit cross in there, which is really, frustrating, because now the artillery does know where I am. And here we go. Boom! We get slapped, don't we? He only tickled us, didn't he, for 1480, left us on 20 hit points. So at this point, you can imagine I was thrilled by not getting hit all game, and then the fun police almost sending me to jail. Fortunately, I am still in the game, so I'm going to reposition back where I was and see if we can get any, just get a bit more assistance. It's kind of annoying that I got hit there, because I was at the stage of the game where if I'd have kept those hit points, I could have made an aggressive push, and then I could have easily jumped up at like another 2k assistance quite happily, because I would have been able to take a shot to get there. But now I can't take that risk, can I? I can't do what I originally planned. So it happened. I'm just going to try and I am still in the game. 20 hit points. I've not lost any hit points up till now. So let's just we'll just try and do the same. With ISUs come around, we got a shot. We didn't get lit with the first shot because we shot through the bush. We do get to shut him down, putting us up to 2,600 damage, just shy of the 10k combined. So now it's a case of, we know there's a few tanks down the 1-2, and we're going to see if we can light them up. Unfortunately I don't, and we know that there is a tank on the hill. It looks like our whole team's going to get to the 1-2 before I get a chance. So I was thinking I was just going to try and dart across as quickly as I can to the opponent hill, just hoping to get a little bit more assistance, because this has been a really decent game. I'm just trying to get anything more out of it I can do, really. Like I say, we're bottom tier, and it has helped there's been no light tanks in. Of course it has, to getting this assistance, but at the same time I wouldn't have got that assistance, wouldn't I, if I didn't take that aggressive position. And sometimes it pays off. Just because there's an artillery in the game, you can't just play scared. You've got to you've got to be alert to the fact there's an artillery, and do what I was doing and moving about a bit, just trying to make it not so easy. Because of course, if you sit in the one location and you stay lit trying to drop all your free shells, there is a 2-second interclip between the shells, you're going to end up taking punishment. So you do have to be a little bit careful on that. Generally, when I play this tank, I would take a shot, drop my free shells, but I'm not going to sit there on the ridge line when all the guns are looking at me doing that. I'm just going to take one shell, pull back, and just judge when it's safe to put your clip in, essentially. But yeah, that's the first game for you. You say it's a really decent game. Got 10k combined, 1 kill, bottom tier. Unfortunately, it's only a first class. I think that's just because the assistance tends to not give you that much XP, even though the realistic of it, I mean, that game in particular, if I wasn't where I was, my gut feeling is they push down that 1-2, we don't light them up early enough and we lose that game. That's just my opinion. I'm pretty sure that's how it would have gone. But anyway, that's a really decent game for you, but we do have another good replay for you again. So please stay with us and I will see you in a bit. Okay, so here we are for replay number 2. This time it's a game which involves more damage, and we're on Himmelsdorf, but again we are bottom tier. Now, before we start, I just wanted to make a quick mention, a quick shout out. There was a guy in the enemy team in a Type 5 heavy tank. He goes on to have a really good tank, a really good game. And after the game, he messaged me, and we had a good messages. We had a nice little chat about the games, etc. And yeah, I didn't know him before. He's just a random guy, but I wanted to give him a little shout out, just so you can it make more relevance when the battle goes on. But he has a good game, and he sent me some nice messages. So I just wanted to, if he is watching, yeah, GG mate. Thanks for the game. So anyway, we are, yeah, one Himmel sauce, as we said. We're going to push into the middle. It's a little bit risky doing this, but I like to do it because sometimes you can get a little bit of free assistance as you're moving into position. But like I say, if someone's ready for you, can potentially get a shot at, like I say. So it is a little bit risky. You see that I picked up a little bit of assistance there. Sometimes you can get, like, I've had quite a lot of assistance early doors, and you can get things like this where you get to spot things crossing, you get a few shots in. A little bit unfortunate with the light where we track him in place, but we don't damage him. But we do pick up a pen of damage onto that TD. We're trying to work to get a second shot in to see, see if we can boost our damage. All while we're sort of just keeping an eye on what's happening on the map. I was looking on, the important thing is I'm looking at the hill to see if anything gets spotted on the hill. I don't want to get trapped, so I was going to move up, so then I could potentially get shots in. But by looking at it, you can see where our team is. They've spotted the guys up on the hill, and they've not engaged, so I don't have to worry basically about getting shot at from the hill. So now I can eliminate that angle. I'm going to see where I can lose my spot and see if I can get any more shots in. And what's happened is the enemy team has pushed quite heavy and aggressively down the banana. So I'm going to see if I can get side shots in. This Conqueror with me is alert to it as well, which is nice. We actually, I think the ammo racks that light tank there. But this Yagi 100 is pushing through, and we're going to try and get a few shots in there, picking up a bit of damage. And already we've got 1,000 damage and a little bit of assistance. So we're going to go for a reload now. And this is quite nice how it's sort of planning out for us at the moment, where I'm not having to worry too much about getting shot from the hill. And the fact that they push down the banana now, I'm going to rotate around the map and just see if I can get any shots in behind. Keep the enemy under pressure at all times, basically. Just trying to keep alert, because this is a good thing about these sort of 3-shot autoloaders. If you get an opportunity to get shots in someone's side, or just get an opportunity to dump your clip without having to take damage, and it's brilliant. Like, quite often I'll just trade 1 for 3 or try and do that, but if you can get an opportunity to catch people off guard, you can get a few shots in. Now this is a Type 5 heavy I was tailing about. He's in this position, and you can see we're doing pretty well as a team, aren't we? We're 10-8 at the moment, so it's looking fairly decent for us how it's sort of playing out. But obviously that Type 5 nowadays with the big HE gun, it is deadly, because it just shoots you, splashes you for 500-600. It doesn't have to pen you at all, it just has to hit you, and obviously if it does pen you, it's going to do a lot of damage. Now the thing about this tank, the sidearm's not great, so you don't want to be hitting the side, because he probably would pen me. But we've pushed over so he now doesn't have shots into us, and we're able to deal with this TD. With basically the plan was, or my plan was, to, he is quite slow heavy. I don't want to be in a brawl with that guy because he's going to win. So I wanted to try and ignore him essentially and deal with him last when we've got more of my team to help us out, and see if we can get a few damage shots in elsewhere. Now we pushed onto this thing, we're waiting for our clip to come in, and then we're going to see if we can kill this S-barn. He wasn't paying attention, but I kind of fell off the ridge. Now I've just got to go for it, and I was thinking at this point I'm gonna get slapped for this, and this is gonna hurt. But then I get so fortunate. I was a little wiggle, and this is the thing with this Armour. He obviously hit the turret and at an angle, and he bounced that shot, and I bounced like 1,400 damage, 1,300 damage in that one there, off of his AP shell, which is really nice. And now, if Sophie doesn't reload in time, we do take him out, because I was quite lucky there to get that bounce. To be honest, I probably should have waited a little bit longer, but you know, RMG saved us, and with a little bit of a wiggle, we do bounce him and we do take him out, putting us up to sort of 3,000 damage, which is not too bad considering we're really bottom tier. But this game, we're now in a 6 versus 3, so it's looking good for us, isn't it? 6 versus 2 now, or 5 versus 2. But this type 5, he's still full health, but I want to try and ignore him and see if I can push around and see if I can take out this IS4. I wanted to get around and get, you know, because it's got really deep. Well, it's a tier 10 tank, isn't it? And he has had an armour buff, so I can sort of struggle to pen if he's angled, basically. Now, I try and get a shot for the lower plate, but he is angling to make it really difficult for me. Unfortunately, I ricocheted both those shots, and maybe I stayed around for too long there because I then took one in return, which is unfortunate. But this Type 5, in the meantime, is shut down some of these tanks, and it now puts us in a 3 versus 2 situation. I'm on a reload. At this point, I was running away because I was hoping that, well, I was assuming the IS4 was going to push me. And I was on a reload, so I didn't want to stay there in front of me. I wanted to get further enough away from him so I could put in a clip and then just keep falling back while I'm reloading, essentially. But it looks like he's gone to engage in our other 2 friendlies. So that's kind of good for me because I'm hoping I can now come behind them, come through the middle, and put a shot in there, you know, into the rear armour, which is obviously I'm not going to struggle to pen. And that's what's happened. This IS4 is facing the other way. It's a great opportunity for me to dump my shots, and this is how quickly this tank can rack up the damage when you get an opportunity to just pen all 3 shots on your clip. And that's putting us over to 4,000 damage. So we're having a good game now, but we're on a reload, and they're kind of just, all I want to happen now is our Italian heavy just to try and stay alive for as long as he can, so I can get there and support him. Unfortunately, he gets shut down by the Type 5, who, as I say, goes on to have a really good game, and this is making it very awkward for me now. He's pushing our other friendly tank. I'm trying to get my clip in. I ricocheted that shot, should have stayed a bit more patient, which is annoying. I'm not going to make the same mistake with this shell. I'm going to wait until I can pen, and we do, putting us up to a total of 5,100 damage, leaving him on 1,000 hit points. But now we're in a 1 versus 1 versus this Type 5. Like I say, he has a... I'm not going to be able... Well, it's unlikely I'm going to clip him out in one clip. I mean, so I want to try and pull back and create some distance, because like I say, he doesn't, if he's using a HE gun, he doesn't even have to pen me. He can just shoot at me and he's going to slap me for 500-600 without, you know, just by auto aiming onto me. You know, they buffed this recently, and to be honest, I don't know it needed to be that good, but you know, I'm not going to complain because it's needed a buff for a long time. So you know, it is what it is, but basically it's a very dangerous tank and a very dangerous scenario for me to be in. The one thing I have over that is obviously I've got the mobility, so I'm going to try and use that to my advantage, which was the plan anyway. And I was going to move in, and I was hoping maybe he would just go the most direct route straight through the middle, and I'd get a few shots into him there, but he didn't get spotted up. I don't want to get caught out, basically. That's what I'm trying to avoid. So I was thinking, you know what, I'm going to go and spot this other side. And in hindsight, what I should have done right now was probably stayed where I was and just, you know, I could hard aim down here, but it's easier, you know, at this sort of stage. It's a little bit of a guessing game, isn't it? You know, all I was thinking is I wanted to try and keep my distance so that I could try and dump my clip and then move out. And at this point, I'm not entirely sure what way he goes, and then I get lit here, and my controller actually, it didn't let me stop straight away. I think I need to just get new thumbsticks, and then I make a big mistake of putting 2 shots into his lower plate there, which I should have just gone for the cupola like I did with the third, and that's kind of cost me bouncing him 2 shells, because I hit the shell anyway, you see, just slapped me with his HE, put me on to like 300 damage. That would have been okay if I would have then penned all 3 shots, because that would have then put him on a 1-shot to me for my clip and made this a lot easier. Unfortunately, don't pen my shots. I've got to get out of it. I'm a definite 1-shot to him now. I'm just trying to escape basically, because if he gets too close to me now, I'm not going to kill him, because I'm going to put one shot in. He's going to then kill me. He's just going to then kill. I'm not. You know, I'm not going. I'm going to need at least 2 shells or whatever to kill him, or probably 3 really. And he's just going to easily kill me in that time. So my only chance again now is to get distance. So what I was hoping, this was going through my mind at the time, I was thinking I'll drive directly through the cap so that he knows where I am, and then hope that he chases me. Because then I was thinking I could get onto the hill and I might have a chance of shooting down at him while he chases me. That was the plan anyway, that was the thought process. Also we can see how that plans out, but I was thinking I'm not going to be able to brawl with this guy. If he gets too close to me, he's going to push me, eat the shell, kill me, and it'll be game over. And I'm having a really good game. I mean, whatever happens now, I have had a good game, considering I'm bottom tier. But obviously I really would like to win it. As you can see, I've got 5,500 damage, 200 as assistance, which I've got at the start. But I have blocked 2,150. Thankfully, due to that S-bar. But as you say, we're going up here, and I was hoping I'm going to be able to, maybe I'll get up here, he might push in the middle, I might be able to spot him from the hill, and that's what I was hoping for. Annoyingly to me, he has got in a cap. Now this is going to cause me problems, because if he's put himself in the right position, I'm not going to be able to just push round and kill him, because like I say, I'm going to be on a one shot, so it's going to be really awkward for me now. But I've got no choice, so have I? I have got time to get there for the reset, which is one good thing. So I'm going to push to try and get that reset. But like I say, this is going to be awkward for me. He has done the smart play, really. He recognised that he was in a slower tank than me, so he's going to go and sit in the cap, which is obviously going to cause me a bit of problems. But we're going to try and do. I was hoping that maybe when I come down here, you see where the smoke is. If I was able to spot him here and he was sitting in the cap at not a great angle, I'd be able to kill him. But he's obviously tucked himself in. Now, what I probably should have done in hindsight, you can see I was thinking about it, wasn't you? I should have gone to the far edge and spotted right down on that sort of A line. But I don't do that for some reason, and yeah, it's going to cause me problems, and I regret it now. I do regret it. And then you can see here, I was already thinking, I will go that way, but then I've just noticed I don't have time anymore. I've left it too late. I've got 8 seconds on the clock, and this is looking like I've just got to go, because I'm probably going to get capped out here. I get one shot in, but oh no, I got the second shot in. He then finishes me off. So if I'd have gone the other way, I probably would have killed him. And if I wouldn't have bounced my shots at the start of the game, I would have killed him. But hey ho, it is what it is. We still had a good game, didn't we? We had almost 6k damage, 2,000 assistance. And like I say, he ended up having like 8 kills and 7k damage. We had a really good game as well. And shout out to him, because like I say, he sent me some messages after the game. Seems like a really decent guy. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that replay, or the replays. I hope it just shows you what this tank can do. I'll probably get a few more out on this tank at some point. But yeah, as always, this is a great tank, but happy tanking.